Good evening everyone and welcome to Gundam News. And the big thing of the past week was of course the release of Gundam Seed Freedom. And with that, the final secret machines and their Gunpla got unveiled. But before we talk about those, a new month means a new Gunpla schedule. And for being the shortest month of the year, February is quite packed. On the 10th, there's the Real Great Force Impulse Spec 2 for 3,410 yen, 23 US, which I of course don't have too much to say about. The original Real Great Impulse was awesome, and this is just a slight color variant with some new decals on top of it. And the same basically goes for the high-grade Bear Guy Ohana and Aloharo set, except that now it's a combination of different sets. There's the Puchi guy with the guitar, the Mama guy with ribbon, and a Haro, all together for 3,190 yen, 22 US. On the 17th then, we get the Figuart standard Choo Choo, who is totally ready to kick some ass with her 2 included wrenches. And with the large amount of hand options included, she can actually dual wield them. Other accessories then are a smartphone, 3 different facial expressions, and an extra set of hips to allow for her famous crouching pose or a more natural sitting pose. And this bundle of Urshan Rage can be yours for 4,180 yen or 28 US. And then last but not least, on the 23rd, we get the SDW Heroes Musha Gundam D78 for 1,760 yen, 12 US, and the high-grade Black Knight Squad Shiva for 2,970 yen, 20 US. A machine that comes with a lot of melee weapons and a beam cloak, which I'm unfortunately not necessarily convinced by. Because instead of a cool effect part, it's just a thin sheet of plastic with the effect printed on it. And then there was also the SDW Heroes Onmitsu Aerial for 1,540 yen, 11 US, a release that I definitely didn't forget about and that I definitely didn't have to add while editing this video. But now, back to our new mobile suits and their Gunpla. As we were led to believe, there is in fact an upgraded Strike Freedom and Infinite Justice Gundam, called the Strike Freedom Type 2, which then gets upgraded even further into the Mighty Strike Freedom, and the Infinite Justice Gundam Type 2. Not the greatest names ever, but at least their Gunplas do look more promising, albeit slightly on the expensive side, which is definitely a running theme with modern Gunpla. But hey, at least they are regular releases, so you can pre-order them with the links down below. For 2,970 yen, 20 US, we can get the high-grade Mighty Strike Freedom in May. And unlike what I was expecting, they did do more than just update the old high-grade Strike Freedom with the new parts. Everything looks brand new, even with the addition of some cool gimmicks, although these could potentially also backfire. Because it is an extra joint in the wrist, which immediately gave me flashbacks to the new high-grade Zaku 2s, and an extra joint in the hips to more accurately replicate the Strike Freedom's signature pose, which is really cool, but does also add a bit of extra complexity and therefore fragility. But for the other gimmicks then, we have some new armor parts, a parts-forming opening mega particle cannon on the forehead, and of course, the new Proud Defender, which can be used with the Strike Freedom or without it. And you can choose to have it active or deactive with the help of stickers. what I'm wondering about the most then is how the shiny parts are going to look. For the gold, we're getting realistic metallic gloss injection, which sounds really good on paper, but for obvious reasons, the marketing department isn't just going to call it cheap non-plated parts, so I'll wait with my verdict until I actually see them in real life. Because even in the promotional images, some of the golden parts look fine enough, but others, they're a bit on the cheaper side. What does look really good then is the blade of the Futsunomi Tama. Because not only does it actually look plated and very nice and shiny, but they used 2 types of finish. So you also get that shinier cutting edge that you see on real life katanas. And then finally, the rest of the accessories include 2 beam rifles that can be combined and are this time stored on the side of the railguns, 2 beam sabers that are stored on top of the railguns, a combined beam saber, and a beam shield. But it doesn't look like it'll come with the original Strike Freedom wings, meaning that the Strike Freedom Gundam Type 2 will probably get its own model kit later on. Potentially as a premium Bandai Limited. The high-grade Infinite Justice Type 2 then is slightly more expensive at 3,080 yen, 21 US, and will be releasing in June. And first things first, that's an X-Wing on the back. There's no ifs or buts about it. And to make matters even worse, or better for some people, you can actually use it as an X-Wing. The backpack can be detached and transformed into a fighter. An X-Wing. So, putting that aside, the story here is very similar as with the Mighty Strike Freedom. Despite looking the same as the old Infinite Justice from afar, every part on this thing does seem to be new, with the main gimmick being, well, with the main new gimmick being better articulation for the leg-mounted beams, which is of course one of the Infinite Justice's main features. The silver on the joints then has the same realistic metallic gloss injection molding, and the accessories consist of a beam rifle, its signature shield with a grappling hook, wire, and beam boomerang with beam effect part, 2 beam sabers with beam effect parts, 2 beam blades for the legs, 1 beam effect part for the head, 1 beam shield, and 4 beam effect parts for the X-Wing. And the third kit that was announced then was the Gyan Strom Agnes Custom, which is coming in April for 3,190 yen, 22 US. And, well, it sure is the Gyan version of the Gundam Seed universe with that badass shield, which also comes with some really nice effect parts. The hilt of the sword is also very nice, but I can't help but feel that the beam effect part feels a little bit underpowered. Like, I think that sword would have looked so much more impressive with a bigger one. Other accessories then include parts forming Gatling guns for the chest, a heat rod because why not, a beam rifle, and the beam axe from the Slash Wizard pack, which you get in a deployed state or in a stored state for storage on the back skirt. And what is also worth mentioning about the backpack then is that it comes with the space backpack, which then leads to the question, how are we going to be getting the atmospheric pack? Is it going to be a full kit, or are they going to do like the daggers and release it as part of an option set? And this question might be answered between March the 22nd and the 24th, because that's when the Hyper Plamo Fes 2024 will be held, and of course, where Bandai will be revealing a lot of new model kits, and of course, selling a lot of limited kits. Plus, they're also holding another test event for the Road to Gunpla Battle project. Continuing then with the Gunpla that was announced this week, In May, we are getting the Premium Bandai Limited high-grade Engage Gundam for 2,860 yen, 20 US. The Gundamified what-if version of the Engage Zero. All the armor parts look brand new, and in addition to its normal equipment and a stand, it also comes with its own version of the G Defender, allowing you to turn it into the Super Engage Gundam. And then, if you have that high-grade Engage Zero, you can equip the booster that it comes with to the Engage Gundam, therefore also probably meaning that you can use those super parts to create the Super Engage Zero. Next up then, it was announced that the clear high-grade Rising Freedom Gundam, which was previously only available at Japanese cinemas, will be sold through Japanese P-Bandai in late February, making it slightly less limited. It goes for 2,640 yen, 18 US. And finally for the Gunpla, for 308 yen a pop, 2 US, Rising Freedom Blue and Immortal Justice Red aqueous paints will be shipping out on February the 22nd. The figures then is where things get really expensive, with the cheapest ones being the SHFiguarts Kira Yamato Compass Piloted version and SHFiguarts Lacus Compass Uniform version, both being 9,900 yen, 68 US, and Premium Bandai Limited. Kira comes with 2 regular facial expressions, a helmet, 2 facial expressions for when he's wearing the helmet, a gun, a green Tori, and various hands. Pink Horo not included. Lacus then comes with 4 facial expressions, a blue Tori, appropriately called Blue, Horo, and various hand options. And I gotta say, even though I wasn't very impressed with the prototype that was on display, like through various exhibitions, in these promotional images, she is looking a lot better, especially with that big smiling face. For 10,450 yen then, 71 US, you can get the Robot Spirit Cydames Dilanza Guel custom in June as a regular release. Again, linked down below. And fortunately, it does come with some nice accessories for that price. Both the Beam Partisan and Beam Torch come with the School Regulation Green Beam Effect parts and the Combat Ready Pink Beam Effect parts, a beam rifle, although there's no mention of removable or spare magazines, and 3 options for the head feather: non, standard, and fluttering in the wind, making it 3 times more fancy than the regular Dilanza. And talking about fancy, on Premium Bandai, pre-orders went live for the Chogokin Mighty Strike Freedom Gundam. And while I might not have been convinced by the gold on the high grade, I was positively blinded by the gold on this thing. And the gold isn't the only shiny thing on this figure, because the cameras on the head can light up. So yeah, it goes without saying that the price is going to be equally impressive. 36,300 yen, 248 US, plus, of course, the Premium Bandai tax. And if you want this thing, it'll come flying your way in July. So then, back to the Gundam Seed Freedom news. The movie itself was a huge success, and in just the first 3 days alone, it attracted 630,000 people and earned the equivalent of about $7.2 million, which makes it the best performing Gundam movie so far. And generally speaking, the reviews were equally positive. Although, one was surprised at the more fan-servicey elements of the movie, which is of course completely unexpected from a series that has scenes like this, or, you know, the Boop's physics engine from Dead or Alive. But anyways, the movie has now entered its second week, and cinema goers will be getting a little booklet with the character and mecha settings. And if you want to check out the mobile suits from the movie right now, they are available on the official Japanese website. And there were also some new character profiles added. Oh, and if you go to the 11:15 or 15:00 screening on February the 4th at the Shinjuku Piccadilly Cinema, then Rie Tanaka, Lacus' voice actress, will be appearing on stage in honor of Lacus' birthday. A cool little extra. At the Anime Tokyo Station then, a Gundam Seed exhibition will be held from February the 3rd until May the 6th. From January the 26th until February the 12th, they're having a stamp rally over at the Gundam Seed Freedom The Experience exhibition, which will get you an illustration sheet. And of course, there is a lot of new stuff for you to buy and pre-order. There's a new booster set for Gundam Arsenal Base. They showed the new cards for their Battle Spirits collaboration booster in February. And also in February, we're getting Freedom Wafers and Freedom Cardass cards. In March, we're getting the Gundam Seed Freedom original soundtrack on vinyl, and this is the very nice cover for it. In May, this even more expensive layered graph thing of the main Freedom visual will be shipping out, which goes for 16,500 yen, 113 US, and is currently available through Japanese P Bandai. At Animate then, pre-orders went live for these two towels of Athrun and Kira, plus their Gundam Seed Freedom Fair, which includes a lot of the usual items, like acrylic stands, canned badges, clear files, acrylic art panels, etc. Except this time with different artwork. And for every 1,100 yen you spend, 7 US, you'll get one free bromide. Plus, if you go to the Ikebukuro main store, Osaka Nihonbashi store, or Nagoya store, they'll be handing out a Rising Freedom mask. But beware, selling it on auction sites or even giving it to someone else is strictly forbidden. Offenders will be shot on sight. And more of the same, but with different illustrations, can be gotten from the Freedom X Roll Ice Cream Factory collaboration, which will last until the 16th. The main deal is to get the collaboration menu, which I guess is vaguely related to the main characters. Like, Kira has something blue, Athrun has something pink, Lacus has something pink, and Kigali has something yellow. But then Luna Maria and Shin just got whatever they had left. There's a Gundam Seed Destiny joke in there somewhere. And with that menu, you'll also get one free postcard. And if you wanted even more acrylic things, then Sunstar Bungu had you covered with their acrylic stands, acrylic keychains, acrylic clip badges, clear file sticker, desk mats, and so on. Or you could go for the Gundam Seed Freedom Art Frame Collection, which has stylized designs of the main characters on an acrylic triangle for 858 yen, 6 US, can badges for 495 yen, 3 US, or magnetized art frames for 968 yen, 7 US. Their next collaboration then is something very different. Primaniacs, which produces anime-inspired perfume. So for 6,600 yen, which is around 50 US, you'll be able to get Kira, Lacus, Athrun, Kigali, Shin, Luna Maria, Orpheus, or Izak inspired perfume. Online pre-orders are live as we speak, and sales at their Ginza physical store will begin on April the 4th. And I can definitely see some of these selling out extremely quickly for a variety of reasons that I prefer not to think about for too long. So quickly moving on to my favorite Gundam Seed Freedom related announcement. From February the 16th, 3 Gundam Seed Freedom cafes will be opening up. One in Tokyo until April the 14th, one in Osaka until March the 24th, and one in Nagoya until March the 10th. I'll talk more about their menu when they open up, but part of the reason of why I'm so happy about this is, if I remember correctly, the original Gundam Cafe was also opened up as like a short temporary thing, but then became a permanent thing when they saw that it was really successful. So who knows, maybe if this cafe turns out to be really successful as well, maybe we'll see a return of the actual Gundam Cafe. I can dream. Meanwhile, on the gaming front, the Kempfer High Mobility type joins the fray in Gundam Battle Operation 2, the Rising Freedom Gundam will be added to the roster of Gundam Extreme vs. 2 Overboost, alongside Lacus Klein as a new navigator, and for UC Engage then, in the global version, you can get the UR Full Armor Unicorn Gundam and UR Benager links, and it was announced that the event story 0083 Pesce Montagne a Bouquet for Stardust 2 will be coming soon. But the big news for UC Engage, in my opinion, came from the Japanese version, where the UR Queen Mansa and UR Puru 2 became available, alongside a new story addition to the Amuro and Char mode. And as per usual, it comes with an absolutely gorgeous piece of animation. We get to see an army of Puru and Glemmy clones and the rollout of the Klopp class, which now has a bunch of Gym 2s on it, which is a bit of a weird sight, but very cool nonetheless. And this is honestly the closest I've ever felt to giving UC Engage another shot. In other news then, the Witch from Mercury Carapop store has opened up in the Bandai Namco store in Hakata and will be selling a variety of Witch from Mercury goods until March the 3rd. The Witch from Mercury Festival Blu-ray will be releasing on April the 26th. The Mobile Suit Girl of the Week is the rear of the Gelgoog Girl, which features some really cool attention to detail, like armor parts on the back skirt that look like frills, and 2 beam sabers that are also mounted on that back skirt. Because the thing is, her like full-sized real-life counterpart is also supposed to have a beam saber, but no matter where you look on the Gelgoog Jaeger, it doesn't look like it has anywhere to actually put it. And then we got another advance of Zeta diagram, this time featuring the long development road to the Woundwort, or as they're calling it here, the Woundwort. We've got the Hyzag, the Marasai, the Oshimar, and a bunch of their variants. But the thing is, because this is more of a summary post, the only thing that I think is new is the Bizak TR6 Bigwig, not to be confused with the Bizak TR2 Bigwig. For more things you could buy this week then, hold on to your wallets because there was a lot. Especially on the 26th for obvious reasons. For 660 Yen for US, you could get the SD Gundam X Standard Rising Freedom, which can be either transformed into mobile armor mode or into a crossbow-esque weapon. For 2,640 Yen 18 US, you could get the High Grade Rising Freedom, which upon release caused a bit of a stir online with its pretty big sticker sheet. And in true Jesus fashion, some people wanted to crucify the thing, whereas others, they didn't care too much about the whole thing. But what I found really funny about this situation was that in its description on Gundam.info, they say that the small parts are color separated to give you a satisfying straight build experience. Apparently not everyone agreed with that. And for another 2,640 yen, 18 US, you could get the high-grade Immortal Justice Gundam. It's good-looking partner machine that can transform into a not quite so good-looking mobile armor mode. Or, if you want to get the perfect Rising Freedom Gundam, you could have gone for the Metal Robot Spirit Side MS version that goes for a whopping 19,800 yen, 135 US. It might take a chunk out of your bank account, but it is a very edgy and impressive looking rendition of the first main machine of the movie. And at least you won't have to deal with any stickers. For 2,970 yen a piece then, 20 US, you could have gotten the Figuart Mini Kira Yamato, Lacus Klein or Athrun Zala, each of which comes with swappable arms and also has some limited articulation. And while you're playing around with your new Gundam Seed Freedom things, you can listen to the Freedom soundtrack for 3,850 yen, 26 US, and eat these 7-Eleven limited Manmaruyaki cake thingies for 226 yen a pop, around $1.50. And they also come with a random sticker. Or, if you were feeling lucky, you could go for these flat Gachapons for 200 yen a spin, again around $1.50. Try your hand at a Namco arcade for these acrylic stands or towels, or go for the Gundam Seed Freedom Ichiban Kuji. A lottery thing where the main prize is a Lacus Klein Masterlized X-Piece figure, or a big acrylic stand featuring Athrun, Kira, and Shin, or Kira, Lacus, Athrun, and Kigali. But for me, the biggest prize was, of course, the Mayrin Hawk acrylic stand. So of course, I got one on Yahoo Auctions. But it wasn't just Gundam Seed Freedom stuff on the 26th. The entry grade RX-78-2 Recirculation Color / Neon Blue, which was previously an event exclusive model kit, became available at the Gundam base and Side F for 1,100 yen, 7 US. There was the Robot Spirits Blue Destiny Unit 1, which can be switched from regular mode to exam mode, and comes with some really sweet looking effect parts, all for 9,900 yen, 67 US. And if you somehow still had some money left that day, you could have gone for the massive metal structure Kaitai Shouki New Gundam, which got a restock on that day for just 110,000 yen, which is 748 US. And then we can finally move on to Monday, where things got a bit cheaper. For 715 yen a pop, around 5 US, you could get a figure from Volume 6 of Mobility Joint Gundam. Featuring the Strike Gundam, Strike Rouge, Calibarn, G3 Gundam, an option set containing the Ale Striker, Sword Striker, and Perfect Striker parts, an option set containing the IWSP and Launcher Striker, an option set for the Calibarn, and an option set for the G3 Gundam. And each of these, of course, also comes with a soda-flavored piece of chewing gum. And on Tuesday, you could get some Gundam Seed Freedom line stamps. And there is still more in the form of this week's reading material. There was the Big Comic Superior, in which Gundam Thunderbolt is being serialized, Gundam Forward Volume 13, which focuses on Gundam Seed and Gundam Seed Freedom, Hobby Japan Extra Volume 32, featuring Gunpla from various games like Blue Destiny and Rise from the Ashes, the March issue of Gundam Ace, which was, of course, all about Gundam Seed Freedom. A Gundam Seed Freedom tabloid featuring things like cast interviews and a poster. The Gundam Seed Freedom Special Edition book, which previously had its cover hidden, because, as we all knew, the upgraded Freedom and Justice were going to be on it. Next up then, Chapter 9 of the Flanagan Boone manga was released for free online and is linked down below. The first part of the Gundam Seed Freedom novel was released physically, and the following manga volumes also got a physical release. Volume 3 and 4 of the new version of Gundam Seed Destiny the Edge, Volume 3 of Gundam Seed Eclipse, and Volume 2 of Crossbone Gundam Love and Peace. On to this week's Gundam apparel then, where Strict G kicked things off on the 26th with, of course, a Gundam Seed Freedom collection. There's a Rising Freedom t-shirt for 4,730 yen, 32 US, a Kira Helmet t-shirt for 5,280 yen, 36 US, a Kira long sleeve t-shirt for 5,830 yen, 40 US, a full color t-shirt of the Rising Freedom and Immortal Justice, like standing in that graveyard scrapyard place, for 9,900 yen, 67 US, a muffler towel in Compass Blue or Foundation Black for a price I forgot to write down, and acrylic keychains of the main cast going for 1,430 yen each, 10 US. And alongside this collection, for 990 yen each, 7 US, you can also pre-order a pin of Compass, the Foundation, Orb, Terminal, Zaft, Omni, or the Plans, which are slated for a March release. And then on the 29th, they added some Orpheus-related items to that Gundam Seed Freedom collection. A Black Knight Squad Carla t-shirt for 4,730 yen, 32 US, an Orpheus Helmet t-shirt for 5,280 yen, 36 US, and an Orpheus acrylic keychain for 1,430 yen, 10 US. And on the 7th, this Orpheus long sleeve t-shirt will become available for 5,830 yen, 40 US. And for the people buying Gundam Seed related items, they're having an acrylic clip / stand campaign. For every 4,000 yen you spend, 27 US, you will get one random stand up to a maximum of 4 per transaction. This campaign will run until February the 19th or until stock runs out. Meanwhile, from Bankore then, we of course also got a bunch of Freedom related items on the 26th. You can get the Mecha visual on a t-shirt for 4,400 yen, 30 US. You can get the Mecha visual as a mirror for 1,760 yen, 12 US. There's the Blue Torii as a pouch for 3,090 yen, 21 US. But then the pouch of the original version goes for 3,300 yen, 22 US. Despite looking the same and, as far as I know, being supposed to be the same. So it just looks like they're charging more for the original, more recognizable version. Then there's an acrylic logo display X of the Gundam Seed Freedom logo, and 5 Gundam Seed Lame t-shirts for 4,180 yen a pop, 28 US. There's Kira, Athrun, Lacus, Kigali, and Izak. Next up then, you can get almost the entire main cast as an acrylic, as a connected acrylic stand for 1,100 yen, 7 US, because, you know, you can never have too many acrylic stands apparently. But if mobile suits are more your thing, then you can get those on a t-shirt for 3,850 yen, 26 US. There's the Rising Freedom, Immortal Justice, Strike Freedom Type 2, Infinite Justice Type 2, Destiny Gundam Spec 2, Dual Blitz, Lightning Buster, Gelgoog Menace, and Gyan Strom. And then finally from Bankore are these Gundam Game Grand Prix items. You can get the main visual on a t-shirt for 4,400 yen, 30 US, an East versus West rivalry acrylic stand set for 3,300 yen, 22 US, a team match acrylic stand for 4,950 yen, 34 US, an IC card case with the main visual for 1,650 yen, 11 US, and a coin case featuring the two main mascots for 1,980 yen, 13 US. And all of these Banquete items are slated for a March release. And then the last pieces of apparel were from the Levi's collection, which we went over last week and are now available for purchase in Japan and a few other select countries. There's the very funky looking Strike Gundam Relaxed Trucker Jacket and 501 jeans, the more stylish looking Technical Anorak and Cargo Pants, a Strike Gundam Robolution Rugby shirt, an Aegis Gundam hoodie, some t-shirts, a bag, a pouch, and my favorite of the bunch, a utility beanie. Because nothing screams utility like a beanie with a pouch superglued to it. And as always, let's quickly wrap things up with the polls. With the release of the Gundam Girls Generation Sayla Rest figure, Gundam.info wanted to know which machine we most closely associate with Sayla. And the results are pretty funny. With 44.5% of the votes, the G-Fighter took home the victory, which I find a bit sad because I do prefer the core booster. But then in second place, we have the Gundam with 25.6%. The machine she took for a joyride that one time, but of course, that one time did leave a big impression. Then with 22.2%, there's the core booster, and in last place with only 7.7%, we have the gun tank early type. As for the currently ongoing one then, with Valentine's Day quickly approaching, Gundam.info wants to know which mobile suit we would like to turn into chocolate and eat. Apparently, someone over at Gundam.info has been rewatching the Boo Saga. And then the choices for this question are even weirder. The Kapul, the Death Army, the Core Gundam, or Kashiba Mikoshi. Why? Like, here's a better question that I came up with in 5 seconds. Which girl from Gundam Seed Freedom would you want as your Valentine? Lacus, Kigali, Lunamaria, or Agnes? And you know what? I'm turning that into a poll. You can vote for that right now on my community page. And I'll throw it on Twitter as well, because that's what they do, so I'll do it as well. And that has been all for this week's very long Gundam news. As always, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters. I hope everyone watching has a great evening, and I'll see you all next week with more Gundam news.